Oh, yeah. Wow, 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 wow. Speak up! Hi, my name is Liberty and welcome back to Gamer Girl Confessions. I am here today with a different type of video just because we're still in the early phases of the channel and I kind of want to do something different just to see what other types of content there are out there. Because to be honest, the research type videos that I want to do for this channel primarily are very hard to do. They take a lot of time, not just in terms of like research, because I'm trying to be as accurate as possible and up to date. I mainly find like the latest news articles, but it also takes a heck of a time to upload because I'm putting graphics in, I'm putting screenshots of articles in there just so you guys know what's like really out there. And so I'm doing something different. I most recently re-uploaded a video called Why Are Koreans So Good at Games from my old channel, which is my most viewed video to date anywhere. It's got like 3,000 views. And I can't believe that. But at the same time, I'm happy to start over a little bit. It's a little sad just to think that I'm going to lose the views on this video, but it's now got a better SEO title. It's got better tags. In fact, I don't even think it had any tags until like a year ago when I noticed. It's got a better thumbnail. God, the thumbnail. And just generally, I'm really proud of it because it's the very first thing I ever did like that, and the first taste that I was like, oh, yeah, I like doing this. I initially went to film school because I thought I wanted to make movies, but part of me is like, wow, I really like talking about media. Maybe I should do that. So what I'm doing today is I'm going to be reviewing some of the comments from my old video because I don't think there's any comments on my new video yet. And just kind of go through them, reply to them, complain about a couple things, and maybe we'll get something interesting out of this. So first and foremost, the most important thing to address here is that yes, my voice in comparison to the audio of the video itself is very quiet. Very quiet. Not quite that quiet, but quiet. I'm aware. I tried to fix it a little when I re-uploaded it, but honestly, there just wasn't going to be anything to fix there. There's a difference between my voice and everything else in the video, and only having the video and it's already rendered. I re-downloaded it from YouTube because I don't think I have it. I only have that version and I can't do much to fix it other than turn up the volume totally. Because when I actually put it into Premiere, I was like, it doesn't sound that bad actually. But when uploaded, it's quiet again. I just don't know. Sorry. And so like 80% of the comments on my old video are, let's see, let me read one out. I like the video, but you should really try to speak louder. And that was like a year ago. This video is freaking 3 years old at this point. Oh, actually, literally, it's almost the anniversary. I uploaded on April 26th, and today I'm recording on the 18th. Interesting. But, wow. Wow, 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 wow. But yeah, anyways, in these 3 years, most of the 20 comments I've gotten, which isn't a lot, but it's a lot for me, have been, speak up! And I'm like, at a certain point, like if you're commenting a year ago at this point, I know. I am aware. It's not like there's hundreds of comments on my video, and you're the only one who thinks it's quiet. Like, seriously? Give it a fucking rest. What else do we have here? Oh, and because I was annoyed at people commenting that all the time, I actually commented myself a year ago that says, for everyone new coming to this video, if you'll notice, it's more than a year old. I know I was quiet here, but go ahead and check out some of my other content. I promise my voice gets louder. And people only had the gusto to reply things like, are Japanese better than Koreans? And ask me, do you are Korean or Japanese, with a space before the question mark? To answer the first one, I did not research how good Japanese people are at video games. But if you would like to see that, leave a comment down below. To answer the second one, do you are Korean or Japanese? I think he's asking if I'm Korean or Japanese. I think. I'm not totally sure, honestly. But I will answer that question. I am actually half Japanese. So some people might say that doesn't give me the right to talk about this, but there's plenty of other people doing this research who aren't Korean also. It's more general cultural research, so if you spend your time writing peer-reviewed papers about it, I think you kind of have some capability to talk about these subjects. And it's not always specifically about Koreans, but there's a general broad demographic of academics studying East Asia and current pop culture, and one of those things being esports. As a Korean myself, I know that there are a lot, and I mean a lot, of people that play games, especially in PC bongs, internet cafes, but 99.9% are also just shit-talking people, not gonna lie. Also, Korea is good at MOBAs, RPGs, but not as good at FPS games, with the exception of Overwatch. There's some pretty decent teams out there, most notably MVP PK and CSGO and Cloud9 and Rainbow Six Siege. Good video, BT dubs. That was a really nice comment, and I was just like, yeah, that's kind of one of the reasons, is the access to internet cafes and PCs generally dictates the types of games that you play. So something I came across in my class that I did this for, which was East Asian pop culture, was that certain cultures will actually attach to certain games because of the types of consoles that they received. So because a lot of the technological advancements took place either in Japan or in the United States, certain consoles just didn't make it to certain parts of the world. Like in the early 2000s, it was really common that a lot of people in South Americas had GameCubes, but they didn't get the Wii until much later. And so you'll see a lot of South American pro esports players play things like Super Smash Bros. Melee and games that were very popular on the GameCube, but not so much any other types of games, really. This is the same with Korea, where they, in post-World War II, weren't importing as many consoles from Japan, which was doing some of the best consoles at the time, in the early thousands, late 90s. And so PCs, which were just American and were just computers because South Korea was trying to get the entire country online, PC games are the most common. And so you'll see a lot of MOBAs, a lot of the early kind of stand and click RPGs, and not as often FPS, because FPS came up through consoles, but there's still like the early days of FPS, like Doom and all of those kinds. And so nowadays, with access to all types of games, FPS are pretty popular as well in South Korea. OMG, you're so quiet. Unsubbing, disliked, and making a diss track. Bad content. This is from my friend Jack. He's just being funny, of course. He doesn't actually mean that. Someone said their answer was Korea DNA. And honestly, if we could pull people's like DNA out of their bodies and test it against other people's, like maybe there is some kind of super reflex gaming gene out there. But who knows? I'm not gonna go that far to say that. And then someone whose name is literally just 3 A's commented, actually the Korean government don't like games, so there is shutdown policy in Korea. After 10 or 12 p.m., children can't play the games. The games are shut down automatically. Is it 10 or is it 12? Because I was pretty sure it was 12. I actually responded to this one because I came across this in my research too. Yes, it's true that there's a lot of people who are trying to get games shut down in South Korea. They think it's a health hazard. They think it's a they think it's a pandemic, which is really funny being in this time. They think gaming addiction is a pandemic that's happening in the world right now, when it really isn't. People get addicted to games like anything else, and realistically, as I talked about in the video, this is one of their like main escapes for children in South Korea, because there's not a lot of, not that there's not extracurriculars, but if you're sending your kid off to do piano, you can almost guarantee it's not something that they like. They're doing piano because you're telling them to. And so with the access to PC bongs, most kids play games. And with phones nowadays. Phone gaming in the world is extremely popular just because everyone has access to a phone. Well, nearly everyone. It's incredibly common. I should say that comes from a place of privilege, but a lot of people in developed countries have phones, and so phone game is actually the most popular type of gaming in the world lately. But my point here in replying to this person was that yes, these things exist, but as you can see from the video, the question is, why are Koreans so good at games? I might bring this up if I were just talking about South Korean games generally, but that wasn't my intention here. My intention was to string together a bunch of loose research in order to come up with a funny, interesting answer as to why Koreans like games. So generally, things that are anti-game aren't going to help people get better at games. And that's essentially the gist of what I said, that positive things influence them more than negative things. But of course, negative things can influence people too. Like, if anything, trying to take games away from people or making people play more during the hours that they can play them. It is a thing where if you're under the age of 16, I think, you have to register that on every single one of like your digital profiles you have, and it automatically shuts you out at midnight to keep people from playing games too late and like not going to school and stuff. We could talk about the social hierarchy in South Korea, but generally it's a really strict culture on the kids. Like, they don't get a lot of free time. It's actually true in a lot of East Asian cultures where they're kind of in school like from waking up till going to bed, but that's a different type of video. Right, and that's about all I have from my comments section. The rest of the comments are just, "You're too quiet, speak up, please, for the love of God," or things about Americans being salty that Korea's better. If you liked this video, make sure you leave a like down below. If you have any further questions or comments, please leave them in the comments section. I will maybe respond to them in the future. Subscribe for more videos. I'm gonna get back into making some more research videos. My next video is gonna be something on Japan. Not gonna say what yet, because I give away the entire premise of the video. But make sure you keep a watch out for that by subscribing and turn on the bell to get all your notifications direct to you from me. That's how that works. Yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Gucci.